Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to Misusing the Energies of Sadhguru's Initiation, Occult Mysticism, Karma, Adiyogi. Yeah, I was looking at the title of that one, Worst Karma a Human Can Do. So anyways, let's hear what Sadhguru had to say, because we did talk about karma a bit and about kind of what it kind of is, but perhaps more of an explanation would help. So let's go ahead and hear what the worst one can be. If I don't know which one's right, misuse of the energy or worst karma a human can do. Let's go ahead and get started.
There are some over-smart people that when you initiate them, when it's fresh, when they're bursting with energy, they want to use it for something else. Where people have
Jeez, I
learned to
forgot this
use
is the-
energies to cause harm to someone else. Once you energetically try to influence somebody for some benefit of your own, now this will be the worst karma because the impact of this goes very deep into you. You must take utmost care that you never try to use this ability to transform to do something else. Of course, some of you think you will do a great thing by healing somebody, by intervening in somebody's life in some other way. No, this will be the worst type of karma you perform because you have solved the karmic puzzle 90%, believe me, 90%. Of all dimensions of karma, you have solved that puzzle. Remaining 10%.
I forgot there's this intro teaser. I'm like, oh god. Okay, here's the real start of the video now.
The karma usually is categorized into four parts. One is prarabdha karma, another is sanchita karma. Sanchi ante em telusa? Sanchi. Ganisak. So, prarabdha is the allotted karma for a lifetime. This prarabdha will determine your lifespan. If I dissolve your prarabdha today, you could die tomorrow morning. You may be perfectly healthy, but you will die tomorrow morning because your software is gone. There's no this thing for this body. Suddenly you may become still absolutely beautiful state for some time and poof. So we will never touch the prarabdha. We are touching the sanchi. There's a warehouse of karma which doesn't come into play at all in this life. It never comes into play in this life. It is not about this, but it gives you substance. So, if we dissolve the sanchita, it's a large warehouse, it's not a simple warehouse, a very complex warehouse. If this begins to dissolve, then you find nothing has changed about your life, but it's like a kind of a transparency. The opaque nature of your existence is reduced. But no transformation in you, everything is same, you're just the same person. You wonder what the hell is happening, is this really spiritual process, is this all a dream? You're still the same, you got the same problems, you got everything same. But there is a sense of translucence in the body. Body feels little as if it's got a little bit of holes in it. You begin to feel like a sieve, not a solid stuff. So that may take some time because this is a large warehouse. Why I'm telling you this is because whenever you do spiritual sadhana, you're expecting a result and many of you are trying to create a result. Never try to create a result. If you try to create a result, it's a made-up one and it's not going to last. See, somebody tells you, be loving. 3 days you act loving, and all your frustrations build up. Everybody feels awkward with your love, and your frustrations build up, and one day you're going to burst like a cracker. Hasn't this happened? After a very loving spell, hasn't this happened? Because you're trying to be something without changing the basis of who you are. 98% of your mind is unconscious. That is sanchita. It never comes into play, but always there, influencing everything. So we are not looking for any quick transformation, tomorrow you go out with bleeding heart or something like this, I'm not interested.
Real quick, so I think, I mean, it wouldn't be too hard to believe that a majority of your brain is not necessarily you're not actively using. Obviously, you can't program what you remember and what you don't. You can try to do techniques that help you remember, but whether they're remembered in your brain or not, it's a different story. You can't say, let me read the sentence. Okay, memorized. Hold on, let me erase that. Oh, okay, got it again. You know, you can't do that. That's just something that happens naturally in your brain. Body temperature, breathing when you're sleeping and unconscious. This, I don't know what else your brain's control, but your cells, your everything in your body, your brain is very alert to a lot of things that goes on in your body. When something's touching your hair and you're like, what the? Oh, it's just the hair untangling. Doing those kind of things, your brain is dependent on also your body for sending signals for things and then bring it up to your attention. So I don't know if it's 98% though. That is pretty high, but I'm pretty sure it's probably close to that. 90% maybe, 98% could be true. But yeah, and the other 98%. I'm wondering. But he said something that I want to remember. So sanchita, is that everything, essentially everything that your body controls? But this says karma, yeah. And he did say like your DNA and all that is pretty much, I believe, karma as well. Essentially, it's just your written history from your lineage of your parents, your grandparents, from both your mother's and father's side. So is that what sanchita is?
Everything. So we are not looking for any quick transformation, tomorrow you go out with bleeding heart or something like this, I'm not interested. It is just that the inner substance is slowly taken away. The outer thing you play the game, what's the big deal? Have you seen sometimes termites have eaten up from inside, just the paint coat is left, you go and touch it, buchuk. So the intention is to make you like that. Only one layer of paint coat is left, inside all gone. Sometime when the end is coming, if you touch and see buchuk, no substance inside. Is that okay?
Yes.
Karma, probably one of the most misunderstood words. For sure, it's become part of the English lexicon today, but misunderstood and misinterpreted in a million different ways. A range of things. The very way the nature of karma is just like that, its interpretations. The karmic structure is a very complex mess. But there are very, very descriptive stories in the Indian culture about the type of jewelry the courtesans used to wear. That is, very famous courtesans were covered in gold and diamonds. No clothes, only jewelry covered their body. Such complex jewelry that when the men who came to them, they had no clue how to take off this jewelry because it was such a complex web of chains. Try as hard as they did, but they cannot get this jewelry off. Jewelry is beautiful, but for a man whose mind is running riot with lust, this is a barrier. So, usually she encourages him to drink and drink, little more and little more, so that he sleeps and gifts her more jewelry and goes home. But when she wants to take it off, there is just one pin normally located at where our anahata is. This one pin, if she pulls, the entire jewelry falls down in just like that, it falls down. Karma is like this, it's a complex web of chains. Some of them, of course, decorated with diamonds, some are ugly, some are rusted chains, but chains and chains and chains. But there is just one single pin. Only because you are not able to consciously find the pin, the fundamental reason, let me tell you, the fundamental reason why there is a culture or there is a tradition of depending upon a guru for one's spiritual growth is just this, that you want him to pull the plug when the time is ripe. Because in this complex web of chains, you don't know where the pin is. Right now, if you try to find it, you can go on a search forever and not find it. And if you find it, just in case, if you find it, you will dismantle it in such a way that you will dismantle your very life. To dismantle it skillfully, that just the karmic aspect falls off and you exist as a liberated being, that takes lots of skill. It is for that skill that you come to your guru. It is your karma that you have to endure me. If you had figured it out yourself, you didn't have to bother about me. So, Sadhguru, when are you going to pull my plug? That means you're not ready yet. If you are in a state where you think your karma is a burden and you must get rid of it, you are not yet ready for it. If you come to a state where you have learned how to transform every memory, conscious and unconscious, pleasant and unpleasant, beautiful and horrendous ones, everything into well-being. If you come to that state, then it'll be good for me to pull the pin. Now if you pull the pin because this is not liberation, this is an escape.
Boom.
There is difference between walking out of this body
Exploding
and
out of-
committing suicide.
Oh, never
They're two
mind.
different things altogether. Committing suicide means you want to escape a difficult situation. Walking out of this means your term is over, your time is up, so they've released you. These are two different things completely. If you escape from the prison, you will have to run for the rest of your life. But if you're freed from the prison because your term is up, then you're a free man. That's a big difference.
You must learn to be happy with your compulsions. Anyway, you have the compulsion. If you're not happy with it, now you have two problems, compulsion and unhappiness. At least if you have one problem, it's easier to deal with it. You have your compulsions, learn to look at it joyfully. This doesn't mean you're happy about your compulsions. You are happy. Why always we're talking about joy and love and things is to keep the mind pleasant, to keep the emotion pleasant. Because when your mind and emotions are pleasant, you are flexible, we can do many things with you. When your mind and your emotions are in unpleasant, you become rigid. Nothing can be done about you. So already you have one problem, don't create the next one. Unhappiness is unpleasantness. Now when you're in a state of unpleasantness, nobody can touch you, nobody can help you, nobody can do anything with you. If you're in a state of pleasantness, you're willing to be molded into a different shape, isn't it? When you're in a state of unpleasantness, you're not even willing to be touched. So, unhappiness is a bigger problem than whatever damn compulsions you have. A far bigger problem, because now you cannot be touched, you cannot be molded, you cannot be helped. So first settle that. Whatever the nonsense you are, first thing is learn to be joyful and loving.
To me, that kind of translate into, I mean, there's not really too much to say, it's all pretty straightforward. The way I can translate this is essentially is that if you're… you have a compulsion that you don't like and you're unhappy about it, you are not moldable. You cannot change your ways because you're unpleasant to work with, you are unpleasant that you can't make changes. Because you're… how do I say… I mean, he said it, but why are you unpleasant, or what is the cause of you being unable to change? Because if you're unpleasant, you're either sad or frustrated, and when you're sad or frustrated, it's very difficult to get you to do things. So if there's something you don't like and you're unpleasant, it's very difficult to work on the problem. I think that's what Sadhguru is trying to say. That's how I'm understanding it. So essentially is to, yes, that problem is still there, that's fine, but make sure you're not unpleasant. Best to be content or in a pleasant state. When you're in those two states, you're very much moldable, or you're very much easy to work with so that you can work on your problems. If you're frustrating, you're just angry, or you're sad, your emotions are getting in your way of fixing the problem. So by getting content, clear mind, or joyful, you're happy and you can work towards a problem. I think that's what Sadhguru is trying to say there, is that essentially your emotions being unpleasant is getting in the way. First thing to do is learn to be joyful and loving. Joyful and loving very much will help. Because if you're loving, people will want to help you. And joyful, yes, absolutely. I mean, it's nice to help out people who are very grateful and joyful about their life. Makes working on a problem a lot easier.
Now, it's easy to work with you. It's easy to help you, it's easy to reach out to you, it's easy to do things with you beyond your likes. Because your likes and dislikes are the basic compulsions. If we have to help you out of that, you have to be in a pleasant state. If you're in an unpleasant state, we cannot make you do something that you do not like. You will do only what you like. The more unhappy people are, the more they will insist, I'll do only this. This is how I am. Joyful people are flexible. You can make them dance, you can make them cry, you can make them jump. They'll do everything when they're happy. They're flexible. Don't lose your flexibility. That's the most important thing. That's the reason in the morning yoga, starting with your back, slowly you'll work up to the head. Because flexibility is key. If you become fluid, it's great. From being solid to become flexible, then to become fluid, then to become gaseous, then to become nothing. That looks like a progression, isn't it? So, it's important to keep yourself flexible. Flexibility is not possible when you are in any state of unpleasantness, either in the mind or in the emotion. So that's the reason why being joyful, being loving, being happy, being peaceful is important only for this reason. So don't create double problem, you already have enough. And these are not the only compulsions you have many more. And the very purpose of samyama is to bring all those things that you have hidden out. Because if you bury it, it will only grow. You bury your potatoes, they will multiply and grow. Karma is like a sack of potatoes. The deeper you bury them, the more they will grow. So this is a place to pull them out, dry them in such a way that they cannot grow again.
Make some French fries?
If you put yourself through intense enough sadhana, you will see when you go out in the world, so many of your simple compulsions are gone. And I'm telling you, if you had the compulsions that you had just a week ago, you cannot sit like this, which all of you have been doing wonderfully well. You cannot sit when there are compulsions. Yes, this and that nonsense is coming, it's not that you become 100% free, but so many of your compulsions are finished. That's why you're able to sit. Everything is hurting. Who is not hurting? Everybody is hurting, including me. For me, only one leg, for you both. That much exemption I have because I have to sit through many samyamas. Only one leg. For you, both legs. It's hurting, that is the whole thing. Hurts, I want to get up. Get hungry, I want to run and eat. Feel like this, I want to go and pee. That is what… we've outgrown that. Very hungry, but it doesn't matter. Very painful, it doesn't matter. It's a terrible compulsion. Most people won't bear it for 2 minutes, they'll hop around. Now you're just sitting. And somebody sitting next to you, they're also doing ba ba boo boo boo. They're pulling out all their potatoes, not just yours. You also have to bear with the surrounding potatoes. Rotten potatoes just spilling all over the place, but still. So don't complain, you're doing great. But still there are a lot of potatoes to pull out. They need to be every day pulled out, every day. Just doing it once a year, 7 days is not good enough. Every day, you pull them out, dry them up and keep them in. Dry them to such a point where they cannot sprout again. Then it's okay, potatoes are useful. You shouldn't get rid of your potatoes because all your experience of life will go. Just dry them in such a way they don't keep growing. What is there is there. The same damn potato grows into 1,000,000, that is an exaggerated potato, isn't it? So you dry them and just keep it as what it is. See, it is like this. You have 5 minutes of intense experience, let's say of pain or fear or some torturous experience or something which was abhorrent to you. 5 minutes. This 5 minutes of potatoes will multiply and multiply and multiply and rule your whole life. Wherever you go, that's what you talk about. Wherever you are, that's what you think about. If something moves, you think the same thing is going to happen. Because you're multiplying your potatoes, you bury them and they're multiplying. They will become millions of potatoes, same kind, abhorrent kind. Now, you dry this potato and keep it, it is there. It's a good experience. If you went through a real bad experience, it's a good experience because these are invaluable. What you learn through unpleasant moments in your life is invaluable. If you forget that experience, you are a fool. Only a fool will try to forget. If you're smart, you must remember every unpleasant experience you had without resentment, without anger, without unpleasantness, just in your memory always, so that you never ever get into the same situations again. If you burn your experience, you'll go through the same nonsense all over. We just want to pull out the potatoes, dry them in such a way that they cannot sprout. but we want to preserve the potatoes. We don't want to get rid of them. Otherwise, you'll be again an ignorant fool who'll do the same things all over again.
So what I'm understanding here is the fact that obviously we learn from the mistakes of the past. Every failure is a lesson to be learned. And it's actually, honestly, something I follow, like, quite well. There's a particular hobby that I do, what I do essentially every week. I go and meet a group of people, and we kind of do this hobby, and we battle each other in a sense. I'm not gonna say specifically what it is. Too much of a nerd, but anyways. But I enjoy the experience. Even if I lose 90% of the time, I learn. I learn how to. Next time I play against that opponent, I'll learn what I need to do. But obviously, there's still, depending on the hobby that we're doing, there are sometimes a lot of variations, and you're still trying to figure out what variations works for you and that you like. And by doing that, you're going to fail a lot, because these variations, you don't know how they're going to work until you actually practice them, until you do them. Then once you find certain variations that you like, then you try to combine it and see how they work together. You like this variation, you like this variation, how can we make that work? Or maybe I like this variation and this variation, but these two don't work too well together, so I'll have to find something similar, but that can work with this variation. Now, this is again with my hobby, by the way. This is how I learn things. So I lose a lot, but whenever I learn something, I get very good, and I'm becoming significantly better, actually. I rated pretty high in one. But anyways, this is something that I really do take to heart. You learn from your lessons. I mean, if you fail, you should learn something from it. If you don't, there's something wrong. Because there's plenty to learn in a failure, barely anything in the success. Because obviously what you did worked. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still something to learn, because what you did wasn't what you're supposed to do, but it worked and it succeeded. You're like, I will do that next time. It worked. Glad it did. I will do that. So learn from the past, learn from the mistakes, and I'm guessing that's the reason why I guess these things are potatoes that are dried up. You don't forget them, you don't burn them, you remember them, and and hopefully they don't sprout again, meaning that you're repeating the problem. That's how I'm understanding this.
The value of life's experience cannot be thrown away.
Oh yeah.
The value of lifetimes of experience definitely cannot be thrown away. It's needed. If you can keep them at a distance and use them as experience. If you let it grow into you, then it just poisons your whole life. Karma is the only thing, the memory of experience is the only thing which can bring wisdom to you. And it is the only thing which can bind you. And it is one thing which can so heavily poison your life that it can destroy you. So karma is not the problem, how you carry it is the problem. How you carry it is the only problem, karma is not the problem.
So like regret, anger, doubt, I believe those are probably the words that I guess would be used. Again, thinking of things that you do and you're like, I don't know if I should have done it. Second guessing yourself. And only because you probably didn't give it your best shot. You know, you probably did it lazily and like, oh no, did I do it right or wrong? Oh my gosh, I should have double checked, I should have triple checked, I should have asked my boss. You know, doubting your actions is bad karma, if I understand karma correctly from Sadhguru. You know, doubting yourself, regrets of the past, which definitely have some of those. A few of them, not too many. I can count 2 right now. 3. I won't count any further than that. We have to continue with the video. I'm sure I can rank. It's probably going to be under 10, likely under 5. 5 maybe. But we all have.
Karma means action. There are 4 types of action: physical, mental, emotional and energy. Of all these things, the energy action is the most important one and the most enduring one and the most liberating one if you do it the right way. If you do it the wrong way, the energy action which is improper can have far more impact upon one's life than the improper physical actions, improper mental actions, improper emotional actions. So what do I mean by improper energy actions? One thing is, unfortunately, I had to witness a few things which I did not wish to witness. Certain people trying to misuse a little flexibility in energy that came with certain practice of yoga or a certain initiation especially. There are some over-smart people that when you initiate them, when it's fresh, when they're bursting with energy, they want to use it for something else. They want to channelize it to impress their neighbors or to make some money out of it or in some way use it. What was offered to them for their well-being, they try to do something else that can happen. Or a better example would be, see, there are many ways you can perform negative action. One thing is, let's say you sat here and thought that somebody that you don't like must die, or you even thought how to kill them. It has a certain level of impact on you. On another level, you had a thought, but not just a thought, the strong emotion. Now it has a much deeper impact upon you. You acted upon this thought and emotion and you actually performed the action, then it has a much deeper impact on you. Now, you understand that if you perform these actions, there may be consequences, so you found another way. You found somebody who will do certain type of energy action through which the person that you don't like will die. There is an entire science like this. One Veda among the four Vedas is dedicated to this is called the Atharvana Veda, where it's about learning to use energies towards your benefit and other people's detriment. You've heard of words like black magic, voodoo and billi shunyam and whatever else you call it, where people have learned to use energies to cause harm to someone else. Once you energetically try to influence somebody for some benefit of your own, now this will be the worst karma because the impact of this goes very deep into you because you're employing your energies to do this. This is the reason why even to initiate you into a simple process like Shambhavi, I am asking you to take this step of being a mother to the world so that you never misuse this, you see everybody as yours. Because enhancement of energies has to come with a profound sense of responsibility. Enhancement of energies has to happen with deeper dimension of inclusiveness. Without inclusiveness, if you use energy, this will be the worst karma. So, those of you who find some dramatic changes happening in your life because of initiations, you must take care. You must take utmost care that you never try to use this ability to transform to do something else. Of course, some of you think you will do a great thing by healing somebody, by intervening in somebody's life in some other way. No, this will be the worst type of karma you perform because once you try to use your energies and still you are capable of anger, you are capable of drawing boundaries of what is you and what is not you, what is yours and what is not yours, when these things are still there, you should never ever try to do anything energetically because this will be the most impactful karma that you will do. This is the reason why even the basic practice of Shambhavi, to initiate you, you must become a mother to the world. And this is also a fantastic way to beat your karma. If every moment of your life, if you live with an inclusive emotion of being a mother to the world, not discriminating between what is yours and what is not yours. Right now you cannot help discriminating what is you and what is not you, but at least what is yours and what is not yours, if you take it away, you have solved the karmic puzzle 90%, believe me, 90%. Of all dimensions of karma, you have solved that puzzle. Remaining 10%, I'm there.
Okay, hold on. I knew that kind of sounded towards the end there. It sounded similar to something he said a little bit in another video. Hold on, let me rewind that.
What is you and what is not you, but at least what is yours and what is not yours, if you take it away, you have solved the karmic puzzle. Take it away.
But at least what is yours and what is not yours if you take it away. So this last part, for what I was understanding, is I was trying to think of I was thinking of kind of an example of how I understood it. Was essentially, if you're trying, like, I guess imagine, this is how I saw it in my head. You are trying to help this girl. This girl, say, likes this guy, but she got dumped by the guy. You like this girl, and you try to help her. But, oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be speaking too loud. But you like this girl, and you help her. And in a lot of sense, this is kind of energy, because you have this love energy going towards her. Now, I don't know if this is exactly what Sadhguru is talking about, but I'm trying to explain this best I can. And you try to help her, trying to win her over, and then, you know, she appreciates everything that you did, and you did help her, but she doesn't love you back. And you feel very hurt, resentful, angry towards her, because you did all these things, but she doesn't like you that way. She doesn't like you that way. She's perfectly fine you being a friend, but you wanted more. So there's this anger and resentment that's built up towards her, because you spent all this energy helping her and making her feel better, and now you're not getting anything back in return. And that's what kind of, this is what this phrase reminded me of that. And it was another video he talked about how, you know, you expand this energy in the stadium. It's like, well, it's just me right now. Then expand it to you, then expand it to everyone in this stadium, then expand it to the rest of the world. Basic being inclusive. If you live with an inclusive emotion of being in a mother to the world. So if he expanded his inclusivity in terms of his emotions, where, you know, if she fell in love with him, the person that's helping him, or still fell in love with someone else, he is connected to her as in a sense that he wants her to feel better regardless of what that is. That's how I'm kind of interpreting that, what he's saying here. It's the fact that you seek nothing in return. So if you seek nothing in return, it's kind of like where you invest into something but require nothing in return. That's basically the same thing I'm saying here. But the best way to really put it is the not discriminating between you and, oh, no, actually not that one. Right now you cannot help discriminating what is you and what is not you. So in this form, between the guy that's trying to help the girl and the girl, if the guy cannot discriminate between himself and the girl, all he feels is love to the girl. And whether the girl loves him back or not doesn't matter, because he loves the girl. If he falls in love with him, that's fine. If it falls in love with someone else, that's fine, because it's all love, all the same. And because there's a discrimination between me loving and this girl, then if that love's not reciprocated, there's that barrier that we are not together in a sense. I don't know how to describe that, but she should be feeling the same things as I do, because we're different. I think that's the right phrase. I feel love towards her, and then she should feel love towards me because I'm feeling love towards her. And when she doesn't feel that way, there's that, well, obviously, me saying that she should feel the same way, she should feel love towards me, there's that discrimination. Because I should feel love towards her like she was me. It's so weird to phrase these things. Anyways, the easiest way is just that I should feel love towards her regardless and expect nothing in return. That's the best way I can put it without it being so confusing. And the reason why without the return is because if you expect something in return and you don't get it, there's resentment or hatred or whatever, it may be sadness. And generally speaking, when you do something good for yourself, you don't expect yourself to get something in return from yourself. It's like, me, I went to sleep early yesterday. Where's me reward, me? Come on, me, you gotta be better than this. I did something good for myself, for me, so me, give me good stuff. You know, you don't reward yourself, and if you see her, if there's no discrimination between you and her, then you don't expect a reward from her. That's the reason why I'm saying that doing good to others without expectation is the best way I could put it, without confusion. It's really a simplistic way to put that. That's how I'm understanding it. Let me know if I'm wrong. Anyways, that's the end of this video. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.